Welcome to another episode of Until It's Done, a devoted podcast. I'm your host, Dana Lynn Kaye, and this is going to be a fun episode, you guys. I have had Steph Ranallo is on with me. We're on a Zoom, and Steph is like one of my besties. She's like, seriously, like I talk to Steph almost every single day, if not every single day, like every day. And we have been friends since like 2017. We linked through her finding devotion and then following me and then us chatting, and we felt we had so much in common. Actually, where I kind of was a few years ahead of Steph. So I was more of like, we were like besties, but like I've been kind of a mentor to her because I think I have like 6 or 7 years on Steph. Yeah, I'm a little older. But I had gone through a lot of things. We had so much in common, and Steph has like such a cool story, and we just ended up bonding. And she did some devotion events with me. And Steph is now in another like new phase, new chapter of her life that we've been talking about for years, like really new chapter. It's been crazy. And so the last time Steph was on the podcast, I think it was now, almost 2 years ago. Almost 2 years. Wow, that's
crazy. It was like October of 23. Oh my gosh.
So Steph had just announced that she was pregnant with her first baby, and she came for the podcast. Right? Was that the last time or no?
We recorded after that when I was, I think, like 7 months pregnant. But
we did one when you first announced it. That was like yes, okay. So now it's a while later. Steph has 2 babies, and I thought that this was going to be a great conversation because at the time when Steph first became pregnant, it was like a lot of unknowns. And, I had always kind of told her about my experiences, but I'm like, until you get there, it's you don't even know. You can't even explain it. And Steph's story, I think, will resonate with a lot of people, or the conversation we're going to have, because Steph is also, for those of you who have not heard the episodes from the past, with Steph's background, she is a bariatric weight loss patient. Not only that, she's in the medical field. She'll tell you about that. And also, went through a transformation, got into bodybuilding, which is another area that Steph and I had in common. And so I wanted to kind of come on and talk about now like the postpartum journey, because now Steph has had 2 babies and there's a lot to unpack here. So Steph, welcome back to the show.
Hi. Let's put a disclaimer that I have a 1-year-old in the background who is listening to Miss Rachel, even though I'm not the mom that removes all screen time. Sometimes you need them to be quiet and contained. So if you hear him in the background, that is what's going on. So that's Mateo. He was who we announced in October of 23. That was my first son. And then I ended up having another son within 1 year. So they're 11 months apart, and he's sleeping here. That's Enzo.
Oh, cute.
So it's been a crazy 2 years. It's been a crazy 10 years from when I started my weight loss journey, which was around 2015, 16, until where I am now. But man, the last 2 years kind of taught me a lot about myself, and I'm still learning. I'm in the thick of it. I mean, Enzo's only 4 weeks old right now, and I have a 12.5-month-old. So life looks a lot different right now for me.
Yes. And there's a lot. So with women who have gone through weight loss, or they struggle with their weight or whatever, and then, it's one thing to go through the transformation without kids and without distractions. I mean, a lot of us all have, careers, you have to, all of that, and relationships, blah, blah, blah. But when you add in kids, it's a dynamic because they're 1,000% dependent on you. And you really, it's a very different time, because before you have kids, which I competed in figure and lost some weight and all that stuff before I had kids, it looked very different from my times that I did the same thing after my 3 kids. And it was like, whoa, like what I thought was crazy back then is a totally different crazy now. And you're just fresh. You just had Enzo. And so, you haven't even really delved into like that whole next phase of transformation and getting your body back and feeling you again. So
when I got pregnant with Mateo, I was at probably my peak of my fitness. I was lifting really heavy. I was training probably 4 days a week, which I've trained more in the past, but I got to a point where I only really needed to do 4 days a week because it was at this point just maintenance. I was eating a great diet. I looked great. I probably looked the best I've ever looked in my adult life, hit around 150 pounds. When I got pregnant with him, I was super worried, and I know we talked about it, that I was going to lose all of that. And it was something in the back of my mind, like I can't gain a lot of weight. I can't gain a lot of weight. I can't gain a lot of weight. So I trained with him until I think week, 37.
Well, let's just remind everybody what was your heaviest before bariatric surgery, because if they haven't heard your episodes.
Yeah, my highest ever recorded was 305 pounds.
Okay.
My lowest ever was about 135 pounds, and we knew each other then, and I looked terrible. Absolutely terrible. My happy is around 150. It just looks really great on me. I feel really good, and I don't have to work to maintain that so much. I have to do, I have to keep moving and train and work out and do everything, but I don't have to really struggle to maintain 150 to 155. So that's where I kind of ended up, and where I stayed for about two and a half years before I got pregnant with Mateo. But when I got pregnant with him, I thought that I had to keep this, I don't know, I guess like norm of I can't gain a bunch of weight. I have to stay super active. I have to keep my diet on point, all of these things. And I did that pretty well with him until about 37 weeks when I stopped training. Even through that with him, I still gained 55 pounds in that pregnancy. So I delivered him, I think I was 205 pounds, which was hard for me to see that scale go above 200 again. I kept telling myself, if I stay below 200, I'll be okay. If I stay below 200, I'll be okay. And I didn't. And looking back, it's fine. Like, it's not really a big deal. Within like 1 week, I think it was back down to 190 or something like that. Right. You lose like a ton of weight within that first little bit of week. But that was really hard on me in my bariatric mind of, oh my gosh, I'm over 200 pounds again, but didn't really logically think that I have a baby. There's fluid. There's all these things. Like, he was almost 9 pounds when he was born, plus amniotic fluid and fat, and you need to be healthy. Anyways, it was a very healthy pregnancy. I can't say anything about my pregnancy with Mateo. And then I ended up getting pregnant again when I was 7 weeks postpartum. So I got back down to like 175 pounds when I got pregnant with Enzo, and didn't really get to, I feel bad because I didn't really get to give Enzo as much, I guess, strength training and movement as I did in Mateo's pregnancy. I barely trained with Enzo. I was so tired from being postpartum and pregnant, having a newborn, and really my diet kind of it wasn't great. It really wasn't great when I was pregnant with Enzo. Did I eat good food? Yes. I know how to make a meal. I know how to balance a meal. But did I eat a lot of food out? Yeah, because I was working 2 jobs with a new baby, being super fatigued with pregnancy. That is my biggest pregnancy thing, is just fatigue. I'm not pregnant, fatigue and pain. Yes. I'm not super nauseous. Neither one of my pregnancies did I have gestational diabetes, which I'm very, very surprised about because of my insulin resistance in the past. My blood pressures are always great. So I had good pregnancies, but I was super tired. Yeah. Lots of pain, period. And working out just kind of didn't fit into that with Enzo's pregnancy. And then we were like, getting a bunch of food out because I was so tired after I got home from work, taking care of a baby. It was a really weird time. And I ended up only gaining, which is weird, only 35 pounds with Enzo. So, you try so hard and it doesn't really even matter at the end of the day as long as you have a healthy baby and a healthy labor. That's all that's for. But now I'm on the flip side of things where I'm going to try my hardest to not get pregnant again anytime. But now with 2 babies, it is wild. Yeah. Absolutely wild. And I think that I owe a lot of the women that I've coached along the way in years prior that were moms a true apology, because I am learning very quickly we do not all have the same 24 hours in a day. No. We do not. When I was at my peak fitness, yes, I was working 2 jobs. Yes, I was working my nurse practitioner job. I was still coaching. But it was just me. It was just me. I could come, I could go, I could spend 2 hours at the gym if I wanted to. I'm lucky I get to brush my teeth and take a shower these days right now. So yeah, I can throw a shit back maybe. Like, there's no meal plan right now. There's no, like, I have to hit these macros right now. It's like, is everybody alive at the end of the day? Yeah. Are we all changed? Mateo's licking the floor right now.
Yeah. No, I have found that the biggest supporters to me and what my following grew on were other moms, because other moms got it, and they're the ones that were the most like congratulatory of me, or like, wow, girl, you go, like, damn, you have 3 kids. Like when you hear people say, oh, you've got X amount of kids, or wow, and you did all that with kids, like, to some people, it's like, if you haven't had kids, you don't get it. You're like, yeah, okay, she had a kid. Then when you have kids and then you see moms doing it, and then you're like, damn, you go. Because it's like, we all, the moms who've had the kids and they've been through the struggle and the battle and the juggle, then once you get it, then you're like looking at the other moms being like, damn, okay, like now I get it,
yeah. It's definitely different. And like, I'm not discrediting anybody who doesn't have kids or doesn't want kids.
Oh, sure. And, it's work no matter what.
But I know for sure I will never, ever probably be the person that gets to spend 2.5 hours in the gym again.
Right.
Like it's just not going to happen. I'm a working mom with 2 young babies. And I also have been talking about, my fiance trains and stuff too, about what training is going to look like. And before, everybody knows that I love to pick heavy stuff up off the floor. I love to lift heavy. I love to, do all those things. I'm sorry, buddy. But I don't think I'm ever going to get back to that peak performance. And that is really okay with me because I risk being injured. Before when I trained, I'm going to take him out real quick.
Yeah.
Before when I trained, I was like, I'd bust a kneecap.
Yeah. No, like there ain't no time for that. Like it's funny because I like being friends and seeing your evolution of thought process. Sometimes your brain would be somewhere where I was like, remember a long time ago, I was like, I don't even know what I lift. Like, I don't lift heavy. I don't care. Like if it challenges me, I do it. Like, because like, obviously I have, 16 years or 15 years on you on being a mom. And so like, that's the evolution of our brains where things shift as you're a mom and as your priorities change. And as you're like I was just sick a couple days ago. There was no time for me to be sick. I was just downing vitamin C and glutamine and it's like, I'm driving my kids and I'm coughing and I've got a sore throat. And I'm just like, this is mom life. Like it's not, I can't really just get into bed and it's all, your life looks so different when you're taking care of littles. And then also when you're like, I don't have time to get injured. And I can't throw out my back and I can't lift that heavy because what if I get injured, who's doing all this? Who's taking care of the kid? Like how am I going to do this?
Who's making money? You know what I mean? Like there's just so many things come full circle, really. Like you almost have to play it safer in life because there are little people to depend on you.
Yes. And so also it's
now.
Yeah. And also, like you said, like even
would add too. Like I don't know how you did twins. I think that I would lose my mind.
Twins were wild. And I think like with being a mom, looking back now, I mean, my twins in 2 days are going to be 13. So 13 years ago, just about, I, gave birth to twins and I already had a toddler at home. And when people are like, oh my God, I don't know how you did it. It's like, just like anything in life that's hard or whatever, it's like you rise to the occasion and you learn how to like find your, I keep saying to you when we have our, like, you'll get your rhythm down and you'll find your ways to like, start to multitask and juggle things. And it just happens. And then where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, I remember being really uncomfortable after having the twins and throwing them in the stroller and going for the walks or, setting them up in front of the shower with the shower door open, like talking to them as I'm washing my hair because I'm like, I have to shower, like.
When I the other day, like, I don't know how to get out of the house with 2 kids by myself. Like, I want them strapped to me. I throw them a toe and they're like, it's a lot. But
it keeps it'll keep getting better and easy. And I'm not saying it's going to get like easier, but sometimes it does. Like once you have your systems down and, I used to have it where it's like, okay, the twins are set up and everybody's going in their bucket and then I get the car going and open the thing and I'm taking everybody out and Bodie's this. And it's like, you're like in your zone and you find the way and you perfect as you go. And you also realize like, it's okay if I'm not doing this perfectly. Like I just, I don't
think that there is perfect. I mean,
there isn't.
Are we able to take a quick pause? We have a diaper change going on.
Yes.
A little.
Yes, we could take a pause. You get up and change the diaper and I can keep talking. I can keep talking to my crowd. You go change the diaper and it'll be me with the listener right now. Go for it.
So I guess we wanted raw and unfiltered, and we have a blowout happening.
No, that's totally fine.
Let's still do this.
Yes. Okay, so you go, and I'm going to keep talking. I will fill everyone in on what's going on with us over here. Okay, so speaking of the twins, like Steph and I were just saying, my twins are 13 this weekend, which is so crazy. Looking back, I'm like, whoa, 13 years ago, I gave birth to twin girls. And like I said, I had a toddler at home. He was just about 3. He was like a month shy of 3 because my son is going to be 16 in about a month. And now they're all reminding me that I'm going to have 3 teens. They're all doing their countdowns and they're like, how do you feel about having 3 teens in the house? And it's a wild time. It's like it's a whole nother chapter opening, because I remember being in Steph's position with having 3 little ones. And, similar to Steph, I was very fit. I got fit for my wedding and I was competing in figure and everything. And I was feeling really good. And then I got pregnant and I gained 80 pounds with Bodhi, actually 70 with Bodhi, and then 55 with the twins. And I never had truly gotten myself back feeling good again. And so after having my babies, holy cow, like I was a woman on a mission, and I really did have to learn how to juggle having now these 3 little people who depended on me, and then also taking care of myself, because if I didn't feel good, then I just felt like I couldn't be a good mom. Like if I was just feeling miserable and uncomfortable, and I knew my mission was to, kind of take care of myself so I could take care of others. And I know some mothers consider that being selfish, like, oh, I'm just being, I'm putting myself last and I'm putting everyone first. And yet then later you hear like, oh, my biggest mistake was like not putting myself first, or not taking care of me and taking care of everybody else and forgetting me. And I have found that the better that I feel, it's setting a great example for my kids, taking care of myself with healthy foods and exercise. And I'm really leading by example, which I'm very proud of, and I'm glad that I did. And I feel like that's such a gift that I've given to my kids. And then it's a gift I've given to myself, because I have stayed fit and healthy. And as my kids are now teens, I mean, they have a fit, healthy mom. And I'm somebody who I prioritize that stuff for myself, and now I feel really good. And I think that they're very proud of me and the sacrifices that I had to make probably when they were younger to fit it all in, to wake up super early and do the workouts and, pack the extra food and prep the extra food and not always take the shortcuts. And there's nothing wrong with shortcuts. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with finding shortcuts, but sometimes you've just got to go through the hard and make the sacrifices and do the things and go the extra mile to then kind of invest in your future self and, what you're creating. So it was hard. I'm not sitting here at all sugarcoating the process, having little ones and taking care of yourself and your home and all the things. I mean, gosh, I don't need to explain life to everyone listening. You all have a lot on your plate, whether it's, I was then creating also the brand Devotion Nutrition. By the time my twins were 2 and Bodhi was almost 5, I was ready to start my own brand. So that's kind of wild too, So, but I feel like the more you have on your plate, the more you get done, and you can really, learn to fit it all in, but you've also got to know what to let go of and what's not serving you. So that was definitely part of but I remember one year after the twins were born, not even 1 year, I think it was 13 months after the twins were born, I competed in figure. So I went from 210 pounds at their birth to 123 pounds on stage a year later. And the journey getting there, and I didn't have any tools. There was no weight loss, shots or any of that stuff back then. I mean, even now, it's I just kind of had to do it the old fashioned way, which was a lot of hard work and sacrifice. And those are the things that shape people and that prove to you that you can do hard things. And it really helped my self-confidence. And I love being able to tell my kids the stories of the stuff that I went through to be who I am today. And they got to witness that, just like I got to witness my parents. So anyway, yeah, the twins are 13. I just went shopping for them last night at Ulta. They're in that phase with the skincare and the perfumes and all that stuff. So I was like, fine, I'm just going to get them that fun stuff that all the girls like right now. And I got them some new camp things. They're going to go to sleepaway camp, and Bodhi's going to be 16 soon, which means he's going to be getting his driver's license, but I don't know. I don't think he didn't really earn a car this year or anything. Bodhi's been giving me a run for my money, and I think he's going to be going to military school. He's going to be going to boarding school. I know. So we just went and visited a school, and I think that's going to be the best place for him. I think he's having some trouble focusing and buckling down on what's important. So I'm like, maybe you just need to go out of the comfort of your comfy home and live away for a little bit. So we're going to do that with Bodhi, and I think that that's a really amazing gift that I'm able to give my son. 15 was proven to be our hardest year. I thought the toddler years were hard. No, 15 kicked my absolute butt. So we are going to do that. Oh, Steph is back.
I don't know, man. I heard you say the teenage years. I'm sure teenage years are going to kick my butt.
Yes, they will. You'll be saying it to me.
So you've been to my new house. So that's what we also did. 8. When Mateo was 2 months old, we bought a home and moved when he was a baby.
Yes.
And I moved and went back to work at the clinic that same week, being only 8 weeks postpartum. That was a rough time. But in our new house, I can shut off like all of the house. Like there's pocket doors on all of the thresholds. So we shut off like the front part of the home where we have like a movie room, our office, and our master bedroom. And then we shut off the back part of the room. Oh.
You're here.
Sorry. We shut off the back part of the house where the boys' rooms are.
Right.
Anyway, so now this one here, he can open the pocket doors. So
oh my gosh.
I had the pocket door shut, I think, to my bedroom while I'm changing Enzo in the boys' room. And the pocket door is open, and this kid was just sitting in my shower.
Oh my God. See, they get smarter than what we even think they are. Like they figure the stuff out. Like I would always be in shock when I'm like, how did you know how to do that? And it's like, okay, Dana, he's not a dog. He's a human. Like he's watching and he's going to learn how to do this stuff. Like, yeah, it's crazy. And not that dogs can't, because Jagger can open the door too. So like.
Mateo's brain is like just kind of like exploding. I feel like I said, as soon as we brought the new baby home from the hospital, he's going to start walking, and he did. So now he's walking. He's also like, he went from walk to run to just be everywhere.
Oh yeah. But every phase, just all of a sudden you're like, wait, I wasn't ready for that. And they're like, well, we are, so bye.
It's fun. But I did, and I think I talked about this in the former podcast, that whenever we announced that I was pregnant with Mateo, or maybe we didn't, I don't know, because I haven't been on postpartum in either one yet. Yeah. But like, you kind of do mourn your previous life. It was really, I didn't realize like how nice I had it and how much I had more money I had.
Yes. And you know what's funny? Because I'm, like I said to everybody, like you and I talk every day, and we're on like a chat, and like we're always texting, and it's like, because I have like the years on you as far as like some of these experiences, it's like I'll hear you say something and it's like I hate being, because I'm always like, oh, does Steph think I'm like that person where it's like, because I used to get it from the women who were above me on social media, like when they were having their teens and I had my kids, and they'd be like, enjoy this time now, or you just wait. And it's like, and I'd be like, no, you're just trying to scare me, or why would you say that? But it's like before you had kids, and I was like going, I've been going crazy now for whatever. And then I'd be like, Steph, just chill right now. You're going to you're going to miss these years. Like, just enjoy, like not, and you'd be like, no, I'm ready for it. And I'm like, I know you're going to get there. But like, I'm telling you, like, take advantage of the quiet and take advantage of the fact that you can just like lay in bed and like watch TV on Sunday morning and not have to get up and change anybody, but our brain always wants us to go to the next thing. Like we're always like, I don't know, but I try to just be, but I'm understanding because I was where you were. And I also, I was very eager to have my kids, and I was but sometimes it's like, you don't know until you're in it. And then you're like, oh
yeah, we're definitely in it. So I'm definitely in an identity crisis because even let's take bodybuilding and fitness out of it. Being a working mom, and knowing that I have to. Mateo's going to be starting daycare at the end of the summer. We kept him out of daycare. My mother-in-law kept him for the first year, and she'll keep the new baby for the first year, but we kept him out. And we were just talking about this the other day, putting him in daycare for 9 hours a day. That's rough. That's hard. Just being a working mom and not being with your kids all the time, and then just trying to juggle all of these things. You kind of have this identity shift of like, where am I supposed to be? And like, where are my priorities? What is the top priority? And that really does, in my mind, become your kids. And, if you have to work to keep your house, keep food on the table, and then you want to spend time with your kids, your workouts might not look anything like they once did. And I think that is something that I really came to terms with, and I'm okay with. I have to say, sitting here in my postpartum body times two labors in 1 year, I actually don't hate myself. I'm about, and if this was a couple years ago and I was sitting at this weight, I'm about 183 pounds right now. I was 205 when I delivered Enzo 4 weeks ago. If I was 183 pounds, I think I actually was at one point when I rebounded, and I lost my mind because I wasn't okay with that. And now I'm like, you know what? I just grew 2 babies. I have a lot going on. I certainly don't look terrible. I don't look my best, but like, it's going to come. It's not a huge deal. It can take me 6 months to get back to where I want to be if that's what's needed. It doesn't need to be anything like right now. There's no time to crash diet. I can't feel like shit because we know that whenever we crash diet and we just kind of go crazy and go balls to the wall, you do feel like shit. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to.
And for what? For what? To put yourself through that. And the other thing is, do you think though that you have a little bit more of an inner calmness because you know what it takes and you've done it before, and you're kind of like, and you're an educated, you're a coach, and like I told everybody, you're a nurse practitioner, you're in the medical field, like all the things. So you're an extremely educated woman who's already done the transformation, and you've also you've had your rebounds, and then you've saw what it took to kind of to fix it and to learn. And every time that you have screw ups, we learn and we grow. So do you feel that like, okay, so you went through the pregnancies, but you're like, okay, I've been here before as far as some weight gain, but like you've also brought yourself back. So
several times.
Yeah.
I do. I have a sure confidence in myself that I know what to do. Like, I don't need to go to extremes. I don't need to do any of those crazy things that I thought that I once had to do and have done several times throughout my transition. Where my worry becomes is like, how am I going to do it all? Yeah. How is it all going to fit in? I have 2 really little kids, and if I need to weigh waking up and going to sit on my treadmill for 30 minutes or kind of getting some quiet time to get dishes done or something in the morning, it needs to be clean house. Like, like it's like I know what to do to get there, but like, how is this going to look this time? Right. What type of things am I going to have to do? Am I going to have to forego sleep, which I don't want to do because when I sleep, first of all, I'm too old. I'm be 38. I'll be 38 in like a month and a half in July. if I don't sleep, we know that we've talked about it before. I get very anxious. My body does not function well. It's just not a good place to be. And we also know that if you don't sleep, you're not resting, your cortisol levels are up, you're not going to build muscle, you're going to hold weight, you're going to feel like crap, you're going to get sick more often, your insulin sensitivity is going to go all haywire. And I could talk about that forever. And I have on metabolic podcasts before, but like, I'm not going to forego sleep. I'm definitely not going to be like, oh, I haven't seen my kids for 10 hours a day. Let me go to the gym for 3 hours after that. Not when they're this age. A couple things that we did do is in our new home, we have a huge shed on our property that we converted into a home gym that we have pretty much everything that we ever need in there. And then we're going to put a little playpen in there for the boys so we can they can't be free reign in there.
No.
Mateo's too crazy. He tries to eat off of everything, but we're going to put a little playpen in there. And if it's 30 minutes, then it's 30 minutes. Yep. If I get 40 out of it, I get 40 out of it. If it's 15 and I do a couple sets of something, then that's what it is for that day.
Yeah.
It just has to, it can't be anything.
I used to, after the twins, so I didn't get back to the gym for quite a while. And I did P90X. I did
that when I first started.
Yeah. So I did those videos and I had a DVD player upstairs and, I had a playroom where we had a gate in front of the stairs and I would put on the videotapes and the twins, would be crawling around when they were super little. I had them in their bouncy seats and sometimes I would have to sing to them while I was doing the exercises and like whatever. But, a million times I'd have to stop. Or if I was on the treadmill, I'd kept having to jump off, put the binky in the mouth. And it was just like, oh my God. But I was like, all right, this is just part of the workout. But I will say to you, like, as each phase, like, first of all, like giving yourself grace right now. I remember I didn't get really hardcore until the twins were about 7-8 months. I had started I started a prep and, cause that was my insane goal. It was kind of stupid, but, I gave myself 7-8 months to just kind of like chill into being now a mom of 3 and learning how to be a mom of twins and all the stuff. And so I was like, okay, Dana, give yourself grace. I didn't stand in front of the mirror and critique my body. I wasn't doing any of that. I was like, you know what? I'm a mom. Like I've got to figure this out. And then what I started doing is like when everybody was finally on like a nice nap schedule and they were sleeping later, then I was like, okay, when am I fitting in this cardio? How am I doing it? What does this look like? And like, obviously, also having the help, like if you have Matt. And so if you said, look, I need 30 minutes, in the morning, I'm going to get the boys fed, change whatever on a Saturday morning. And I used to say, to my ex-husband, I'd say, hey, I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to do my 30 minutes of cardio and everybody's fed. Everyone's good. Can you just watch cartoons together, chill? They can spend time with their dad. There's nothing wrong with that. Like mommy has to just go upstairs. It's like mommy's going to go upstairs, do this. And when I come back down, I will be a happier woman for it because my workout will be done. And then all of a sudden, like, everything starts falling, like you're cooking food anyway. So what's the difference if you're cooking some lean ground meat and you're making your, rice and your potato, like whatever. So it's like, I just started saying like, okay, I'm prepping this food. But yes, it was a lot of different meals. I mean, everybody was eating differently, but it was like, that's okay. Like we're all eating and I'm prepping my food and I'm doing this. And it's like, it all starts to fall into place. So giving yourself like that buffer of like a few months to just ease into,
with Enzo, we're in the thick of it right now.
Yes.
Like, it's better. It's better since he's like a month now, but I feel like you're just in a whirlwind. Like no one should even attempt to do anything, plan or anything until I didn't feel comfortable with Mateo until he was probably like 3 months old.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on our walks mostly every morning. Right now it's really hot in Florida. So if we're not out the door walking before like 8:30, forget about it because it's just way too hot for the kids to be out there. But we do our 3-mile walks most mornings. And that was what was consistent during my pregnancy. And I just told myself if I'm doing something, if I'm still moving at some point, that's more than enough. And I started to do a little bit of deep core stuff the other day, which did not go well. I've lost a lot of strength. Whatever. It's going to come.
It's okay. Yeah.
The biggest thing is that like, I'm not holding myself to any type of standard anymore. Up until this point, and probably my pregnancy with Enzo, I felt I needed to withhold a certain standard because I am a coach. I am somebody who had a crazy transformation, probably one of the best that I've ever seen. Not to toot my horn, but really I had a really great transformation and kept it off.
Absolutely.
And, was just always on. Always on my grind, whether it was through a rebound, through a lot of life stuff, it doesn't matter, but I always stayed on my grind. And this was the first time I came kind of off of that grind for many reasons, obviously. But I always thought that I needed to uphold a certain standard because of social media and all these things. And I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
We're healthy. We're happy. I actually like the way I look. I'm a little heavier than I would like to be, but whatever. It's going to happen.
Yep.
And I feel like that is a really, oh goodness, that's a really great place that I am mentally right now because I don't, there's so much other shit to worry about that I don't have the bandwidth to worry about my love handles right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but that's that's not the priority right now. And that's okay. And, it's funny because I was just thinking this the other day, how even at this age, my goals for myself, I used to think I wanted, back when I was so heavy into figure and bodybuilding and fitness, where it's like I wanted to be like super lean and I had to like see veins in my arms and I want to be, and I'm like, now I'm like, oh my God, that's not even what I'm after. I don't even care about that. And then I think about how I used to care about that and I'm like, what? I mean, that's not even the look I like anymore. It's like we keep evolving to the time in our life and what's important and what we care about looking like and what our focus is. And, in fact, I look back on some of the years that I was so lean and I was like, I don't even think I look that good. Like, ew, like it's kind of crazy, but it does change with life and priorities and relationships and then just how we think of ourselves. Now my value is not, I'm worth so much more than just what I look like aesthetically. Like that's okay. It's a fun bonus.
I mean, to hold a certain, don't want to let yourself completely go, but
no, but it's like there's
if I jiggle a little more in my butt right now, then I'm jiggling a little more in my butt.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, to not put that pressure on yourself. And it's like when there's a time for it and that's your thing, like, before when you were, you didn't have kids and you just had that life, you're like, fun, this is a fun goal. I'm trying to get in the best shape of my life and I'm doing this and doing that. But now it's like to put that much energy into that when you've got these like two little ones that you're taking care of and you have a new home and your relationship and all the things, you're like, okay, is the amount of body fat on my butt right now like as important? It's probably going to fall. It's not that it's not, but it's like, it's just not the thing that you're going to put all your time and energy into right now. Like, No,
something else, I think I'm going to flip the script just a little bit because I listened to your story. I think that was yesterday when you started talking about how you're not creating food fear with your kids.
Yeah.
Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
Because of that little girl that was in that cute little princess outfit with that weirdo at whatever
Bobby, whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. I want to just talk about my expectations of myself becoming a mom.
Yeah.
And what I was going to do versus what actually happened. And whenever I had Mateo, I was like, I'm going to make all of his baby food. I'm organic everything. Nothing is touching. Listen, that has went all out the window at this point.
I knew it would.
That has went all out the window. I'm not saying that I feed my kids disgusting stuff, but this kid loves mac and cheese. Yep. And like, if that's all he's going to eat right now, being 1 year old, then he's going to eat mac and cheese so he doesn't starve. Like,
yep. And no, it's so funny. That's how I was. I was like making homemade baby, and I did it. I did the stuff, but then like at a certain point, at a certain point, you're like, okay, like that sounds like really nice, or like it's cute in like a parenting magazine where everything's like perfect in little jars and blah blah blah.
Little jars, and like I even bought like dry erase jars, and I made a lot of stuff, and it was really easy to start with. But now, some of the stuff he's like,
Yep.
throws out and he wants noodles and you're just like, okay, whatever, you win. Like, so I think there's just a whole bunch of expectations we put on ourselves and then reality hits and it's just like, you got to get through the day sometimes.
Yep.
Screen time's another thing. Like, I usually don't turn the TV on very much when I'm here by myself with him. We usually play and he has his book. Honestly, because Miss Rachel's voice makes me want to like...
Yeah.
She is annoying, but he loves her. And in times like this, he has to watch the TV for right now. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, I read something online. I saw a meme. Sorry. Hey. That was saying it's so hard to be a parent in the time of social media, because every time you get on social media, you're scrolling and something that you're doing is wrong.
Right.
Or something, if someone says something that you're doing is wrong, or you should be doing it this way, or if you do this, it's going to lead to this. And it's just like, one of the reasons why I don't try to go on social media anymore, because there's always something that's triggering, like, I do that with my kid. Does that mean that I'm going to cause them to have this? Like, it's hard. It's hard.
I laugh. So at some of that stuff, it's like with the social media stuff, I laugh at some of the things because I like would know the reality. Like whenever I tell people that I have twins, and now these are usually people without kids, and they're always like, oh my God, I always wanted twins. Oh my God, that's so sweet. Oh, that's so cute. And like when you go on social media, usually when I would post pictures of my twins, it was always them being like cute in the high chair with their meals, or it was cute in the stroller, cute matching little tutu outfits, or, you know, and I took a zillion, trillion, billion pictures of all my kids, and I have a million, I send them to you all the time. But like, the stuff like back then that I didn't post, it's like, the double night screaming, and like the two having their issue, and they're spitting up, and then they're having meltdowns at the same time, and two of them on my legs as toddlers, and they both want to be picked up, and I'm like, that, it's like, and you know, people will be like, oh, I always wanted twins, and I'm like, oh, really? Like, you have no idea. Like, that is a totally another beast. But just like what you were saying with like expectation, you look at social media, and a lot of people make I just feed my kid organic baby food that I make at home, or I do, and they make it look like it's so glamorous, or I only do the finest of this and that, and they show their baby and like acting, you know, perfect, and like it's easy, and then all of a sudden you get into the reality of it, and it's like, you know,
no, wow. Or they do the day in the life, and they're waking up beautifully with all their like.
But that's like, why really moms like start to rebel and hate that crap.
Go back to sleep. Like, I don't understand what is going on.
No, my favorite accounts are the ones that make fun of those people that are like, you know, they'll show the moms looking brave, and then they like cut to them with like, they haven't like washed their hair in a week, and like they're, you know, and I'm not saying you should become a total slob. Like, you got to figure it out. But like, you know what I mean? But like, okay, the reality of it is it's exhausting. There are some nights that I remember, first 3 months, I slept 45 minutes a night. Like, I'm pumping, I'm feeding them, I'm doing double diapers. I got screamers, Bodhi's waking up. Like, it was just a time that I was like, oh my God, I feel like a werewolf. Like, I'm afraid of the night. Like, I did not want the sun to set, because I was like,
why is the night just like, why is it like
the witching hour? Do you guys have the witching hour going on right now? Like the
witching hour. That's usually around like 5 to 6.
That's the witching hour.
I mean, a little later with Mateo, but now it's around 5 to 6.
Yep.
And then 4 to 5 in the morning with this one. He's like, I want to be up. All the things. I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
So beautiful during the day. Like, can we just, come on?
The witching hour, we had that with the twins, where both of them, for no reason, it was a long stretch of time before we broke it, but it would be like, oh my God, I would have my mom over, my brother over. I would call everybody, please come hold a baby. Like, oh my God, I got to go bathe Bodhi. And like the babies are screaming and they're not taking a bottle. And it was just like, finally, I remember just snapping pictures of like my brother on the couch holding a kid, like my mom's holding a kid. Everyone's like, oh my God, how do you do this? Then like they couldn't wait to leave. They'd be like throwing kids at me. I'm like, help. But like, it's just, it's crazy. And you just somehow like survive it and get through it. And then you look back and you're like, oh my God, that was nuts. But and then some people keep going. Like, I don't know, the people with like the 6, 7 kids, I'm just like, wow, you enjoyed that? Like, you like that? You like that the first, second, third, fourth? Like, how are you even functioning to even know your own name? Like, I was so tired.
Matt was telling me that Enzo is such a better baby than Mateo. He doesn't scream nearly as much as Mateo does. He's not as loud as Mateo was. He's consolable when Mateo wasn't when he was a newborn. I literally blocked that all out.
Right?
I do not remember.
It's like, that amnesia.
It's stuck in the back of my brain, locked up. Like, to me, Mateo was a perfect newborn. Matt was like, no, he wasn't.
You forget.
Remember? I'm like, no. I don't remember.
It's that like mom amnesia where you like forget the crap that you went through. Now, I did not forget it, and I videoed a lot of it because I'd be like, if I ever say I want more, like I'm videoing this right now. Like I'd be like,
the thing though, the mom amnesia. So we do forget. So we do have more babies because
yes, it has to
there
be.
was one point. I think I was like maybe 2 months pregnant with Enzo, and Mateo was losing his mind all night long.
Yeah.
One night, and I looked at him and said, "Thank God I'm pregnant now, because I would not be if." I would not be.
Yeah. Oh, I have some friends who their second baby was so bad that they were like, thank God this was my second, because if this was my first, like I would have been like, no, like I'm not doing this again. Yeah, because it's a lot, and it's stressful, and you're like, you feel helpless because you're like, what is wrong? Like, why are you just screaming?
Maybe like, and you know me, I have bad postpartum anxiety. It's getting a lot better, but those first couple weeks. Or I have my days when I'm just very anxious, and I was never anxious like this before having kids. It's just like I'm responsible for making you as healthy, and you know, as well taken care of as you can be. You are helpless, so anything that's going wrong, I feel like is a reflection of like what I could or should have done.
Yeah. Well, and then it's funny because you also go through a lot of this like mom guilt where you feel guilty about stuff, and then and then in my head I'm like chuckling, like I'm like I remember you had felt like guilt that you didn't want anybody like taking care of Mateo, and then you were like, I don't want him to send him to hit, you know, for anyone else to watch him, or like I feel guilty getting my nails done, or it was something where you were like, and I was like, dude, you're gonna be like throwing him at other people eventually. Like you're gonna be like, take my kid, I need a break. But like at the time you were like I'm telling you right now, even though you feel that like sending him to daycare is a long day, you're going to eventually be like, tuck and roll. Like what happens is like, you know, like you're going to be like, it's okay. Like he's going to be having a good time. Like both the boys are eventually, they go to daycare. And I'm telling you out of experience because I felt the same way. And then like I'd pick them up and they're like, hi mom. And they're like bringing me over their paintings, and they're excited to see me, and they're holding their lunchbox, and they have their friends, and they did arts and crafts. And some of the stuff that they do there, you're like, I never would have been doing this with you at home. Like you're doing stuff that like they're learning songs you would have never taught them. They're doing art projects you never would have done. And then you almost feel like, thank God I didn't keep them home with me. Cause like I would have been trying to get laundry done. I would have been doing stuff. I would have been telling them to be quiet. I would have been, and then instead they get to go play with other kids their age. And then they're like, and there's so much. And then as they get older, then sending them to kindergarten and first grade. And then they're like, bye. And they're happy because they know how to socialize. And like, you know, and so my kids, I always joke, they were always the mayors. Like they started, you know, around the same time with daycare, and like we never had an issue dropping anyone at school, and they always loved it, and they made a million friends, and you know, it's a nice like daycare is like, it's not all the pressure of school, but it's like the fun times, and they just get to go and like have fun and be with other kids their age, and it'll be great for Mateo. And then you'll also be like there are some days that I didn't have work, but they still had daycare, and they were like, oh, do you want to keep them home? And I'm like, no, like I'm dropping them at daycare and I'm going to get my stuff done. like yeah. I'd be like, you know, because shoot, like you realize like I can get a lot done, and then I can be home and all this other stuff is done, and then I can truly just focus on them. But
I don't know, like if as soon as a baby comes out and you bring it home, you get like this mom speed, because I can get so much done during a 1 hour nap.
Yes.
That like, I don't think I could have gotten done for a half of a day before I had kids. Like,
yep.
I'm a tornado.
That's what I told you. You're going to get your rhythms. And then I knew the twins were going down. I'm like, I have 1 hour to like get this shit, do this. So that's like what I was saying, where it's like, if you know that the kids are at daycare and you're like, okay, they're doing a half a day, I'm going to then pick them up. You know, you're like, I'm going to run every freaking errand. I'm going to be in and out of that store. I don't have to take them in and out of the car. I'm going to drop this, do that, grab the food, put it away, cook the meal. And then you pick them up. And then the rest, I remember the rest of the afternoon, like I would sit outside on the driveway. They'd be riding their bikes. We go on the swings, we go to the park, and I'm like, cool, my stuff's done. I get to be with them now. And then they got the quality from me, you know?
Yeah.
And so
I do feel very spacey, I have to say right now, because I'm with him. I'm throwing him down or handing him to Matt. Mateo's coming to me. Like Matt and I play like hot baby potato right now. Like, oh, you take this one? Okay, I'll take this one. Bring this one in for a diaper change. Okay, this one needs to eat. Yep. Or like, you take them. I'm going to do the laundry real quick. Or, oh, no, we have to make dinner. Like, it's, yes, I give my kids my undivided attention. Well, he doesn't really need so much. But,
yeah.
I am very, like, spacey.
Yeah.
Very spacey. Sometimes, like, you know, I'm not even answering text messages for a couple of days, and I'm like, oh, I thought I answered you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot to get done because it's all your regular life plus now taking care of two more, and just it's a whole new. But I think that kids
work starts again, so that's going to be interesting whenever I'm back in the office seeing patients. You know, I didn't stop coaching. I'm still coaching. So I think I took like a week off and I was like, I'm just not checking my email this week, the week that I had them. But, you know, my clients didn't care. So I didn't stop that. But going back into the office, my office is about, I don't know, like 35 minutes from my house. So there's that travel time, getting Mateo to daycare, seeing patients. Sometimes that runs over. So that's going to be another dynamic. So it's all going to work out because probably right around like months when Mateo was 9 months, we were down pat with the schedule. We felt great. Like
you find your groove. You find your groove, and it keeps changing because they keep changing and life keeps changing. Yeah. But you get your systems down and you find your groove, and then you're going to be able to also fit in all of your stuff, your fitness. And like you said, I have visions for you, you know, with your fitness, like you said, like you have a setup in the backyard. So eventually the boys can be back there and they're playing and you're getting in a workout. And like all of a sudden, I mean, that's what happened with me where, like I said, I could set up my treadmill and then now the girls are crawling around and they're playing or they're able to watch a little show and I'm able to do my stuff. And suddenly you're like, okay, this works. And you just keep finding what works for your schedule and your family. And but people who are good at the whole multitasking and then not making excuses, finding a way, you can make it work. It's possible. I mean, we see the moms, you know, I never understood the moms who completely don't do anything, you know, and they're like, oh, I completely let myself go. And I'm like why? Like,
no. Yeah, I don't want to. It's not, I won't feel good.
No.
I know that half of my anxiety issue right now is because my diet is crappy and I'm not working out and moving as much as I should be. I know, we just know physiologically, like whenever we eat better food, whenever we move our bodies, whenever we spend more time outside, away from screens, away from these things, you just feel better. So I don't think that I would ever remove myself from all of it, but the days of me training 6 days in a row,
no. And it's not even necessary. The other thing is like you had packed on so much great muscle from all your consistent training. Like I look at what you and I both did with our fitness, going so hard for a little while.
I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah, I was going to say it was an investment to our crazy day future. So like right now where my life isn't babies, but my life is where like I get crazy and then I won't train for chunks of a time. Like this last couple years, like I'll go, you know, after my shoulder surgery and then I wasn't able to train like I did. And then I'm redoing my house or like I'm dealing with my kids and I'm running Bodie to the orthopedic, all this. And I'm like, I just don't have the time. Like I have not gotten to a workout or I haven't gone to the gym or I'm really run down. I've been tired too.
You're just like literally tired in that just 30 minutes. You just need to sit and I don't know, watch funny reels of,
that's what I do. And I'm like, I just need to chill.
I don't know. And like I need to laugh. I need a dopamine kick. I don't want to move myself anymore.
Yes.
Like I don't want to use any part of my body anymore. I'm so tired. And I'll do like the stuff where I'll still walk the dog and I try to get the steps or, you know, and if I can squeeze in some cardio, like some mornings I did this morning but yesterday I didn't. It's like, I kind of like, I say, well, I put in so many years of that, like we put in that foundation so that now in these years, we put on a lot of the muscle and then we've continued to eat to support, you know, it's like it's an investment to your future. I mean, anybody who's listening, I think that's like a huge lesson in like if you got the time, put in the time, put on the muscle. I mean, it will then pay off years down the line that you put in that time when the going gets tough and you just don't have the time for it. Or, you know,
you got to find, I don't know, you got to find a way.
There's always a way, right? There's always going to be a way. It's just going to look a lot different.
And it doesn't have to be as often and as, right? Like it does. I feel like if you could even get into, right now, I probably get into the gym 2-3 days a week now, if I'm lucky to do weight training. But like when I'm there, I do it. Like I'm not like sitting on like the machine twiddling my, you know?
If you're making time for it, whenever your time is limited, you got to get there. You got to be
effective.
On your shit. You're not messing around. You're not recording. You're not doing videos. You're not posting reels. You're not answering emails, DMs.
You just get in, get out, and focus.
Get in, get out, get done. Because I feel like it is a huge privilege whenever you have a lot of other things going on to be able to step away and do your workout and take that time for yourself. It's a privilege. It really is. So it should be treated like it. Like,
yeah.
Well, I think that. Sorry, guys. Getting hungry over here. He eats so much. My goodness. But yeah, working out is definitely a privilege. Not everybody can do it. There are people that truly can't, truly don't have the time, truly can't make it to do it, or they're sick, or they don't have the physical capability. So working out, whether you're a mom, whether you're busy, whether you're not, whether you're a bodybuilder, whether you're a runner, whether you're a rower, whatever the hell it is, the way you get to move your body is a privilege. And I think that if we have the ability to have that privilege, we should take it and use it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's an investment to your future, and the muscle and the movement and all that stuff that you're putting in, it adds up day after day of doing the little bit. If you can do, 3 10-minute walks, if you can do,
it has to be always an all or nothing.
Right. No.
If you have like something at home, and this might be me, I don't know, like go and do a couple sets. I actually listened to a podcast of dads. And the one guy was saying, I really don't have time to do like a full workout. So what he would do is he was like cutting his grass, and like every half hour that he was cutting his grass, he would stop and do a half hour of training, then back to the grass. And back to
yeah.
And I was, he's like, that's what works for me. It's really weird, but it is what it is. Do a couple sets. And Matt took Mateo out to the shed the other day, and he was like, we were just kind of walking around, and he would get entertained with something. I would do a couple sets, and then we would walk around, and he would get entertained with something. I'd do a couple sets, and he was like, I got a halfway decent arm workout in.
There was just a podcast about that on, who are those guys that we listen to? It's like the #1 fitness podcast that they just.
I think that's what it was.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I listened to that, and it's like, you don't have to, your perfect workout doesn't have to be all perfectly done at one time together. You can break it up throughout the day. You can bust out and every hour stand up and do 25 squats and 25 push-ups or do something like that. Like you can do that stuff and it still counts. Like it doesn't have to be this perfect looking gym workout. I do that. There are times when I know I'm not going to get to the gym and I don't have it in me to do any kind of extra, cardio type of shit, but I will get up from the computer and walk Jagger around the loop, and then I'll go sit on more Zooms, and then I'll walk him around the loop. And by the time I'm done, I'm like, oh my God, I have like 8,500 steps, and I like did a couple loops, and I did this, went upstairs and grabbed the laundry baskets from the kids. And meanwhile, it's like, oh, it looked like I had a sedentary day, but really like I kept getting up, I kept walking around the block, and before you know it, so like, even I remember after the twins, that double stroller that I gave you, that was in my garage, and like I would they'd get up from their nap, or if I had some time in the afternoon when it was cooler, and I'd stick both of them in that stroller, and I'd be like, okay, we're just going to walk around the neighborhood till dinner time, or like until,
And babies love walks. I mean,
yep.
We would be on so many more walks if it wasn't
so
literally 90 some degrees right now.
Yeah.
Like even with solar fans, these babies are sweating like crazy, and it's buggy and nasty right now. But yeah, we're going to make a way. I don't know. I think this podcast was just kind of like a recap of
your life now. Yeah. But you're doing a great job.
Very much. I really haven't. It's not something that is important to me as it once was years ago. I was posting all the time.
Yeah.
It's just not that important to me. And honestly, I feel like some days my screen doesn't need to see my face. Like my screen just doesn't need But
there are seasons for each thing. And I got more heavily into social media when I was competing, just sharing my journey. And then obviously when I launched a brand, but there are days when I just need to take off, or sometimes I'm like, I just don't have anything to say right now, or, and so I feel like with social media, I've taken the pressure off of myself. Like I show up and I say something that if I see something or I want to share, and, but I think it's good that you take the pressure off of yourself. And eventually if you're feeling like you're in a space that you're ready to share again, or you're like, you know what, like I want to share like what the heck I just went through with having my kids and juggling being a working mom. And then
I'm sure I will.
Yeah.
But pregnancy, first of all, I hate being pregnant. I really do.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're always too excited to not be pregnant, and then you have this newborn baby and you're like, wow, just get back in because it was actually a lot easier. Like,
mm-hmm. Oh, you wanted him out so badly, and I was like, dude, you need to chill. Like, he's going to come out and there's going to be no going back.
And the hip pain and the pregnancy insomnia. I mean, I do agree that pregnancy tired is way different than newborn tired. I feel a lot better in terms of like fatigue. It's just a different fatigue.
Yes.
But I surely didn't have to feed two things and change two things and diapers and all of that. But I'm sure we'll get back to posting. Even people, when I posted that I had Enzo, they're like, oh my God, I didn't know you're pregnant. And I was like, yeah, I just kind of wasn't interested in throwing everything on there. There was a lot going on in my life. And
yeah, no, and it's totally fine. I mean,
but I think we have another dirty diaper over here with the older one, and he is laying down on the carpet, so I think he's ready for it.
All right, well, we'll let you go. This has been great. I love recapping what's going on with you, and I always like to do follow up on when we have kind of like a story, because like you said, you were on 3 podcasts since getting pregnant with Mateo. So it's like you were very pregnant, and then now it's like a follow up to see where you are. So, and what your plan is. And then we're going to do another one when you're going to be in another chapter when the boys are a little older. And then you're going to share how you made your amazing comeback to whatever level of fitness you want to go to. I mean, that's what the cool part is. It's going to be a personal journey that you're going to decide like what's important for you, where you want to take your goals now. I'm excited to see what you do, because your goals could look a lot different from what they used to. You used to be like, I want to be huge legs and do it. I mean, you were so into building muscle and being strong and putting up crazy weight. And so it'll be fun to see like where everything falls with you now and like what your goals are.
As long as I'm not winded when I chase these children.
Yeah. Exactly. It'll be such a different, I mean, it's fun. It's been fun to see your evolution as, a bit like a woman in like the medical field, and as a coach, and now a mom, and all the things. I mean, a homeowner. Now you've been doing so many things, and it's been really cool to see.
Yeah, me last night, or maybe yesterday morning, who knows? I don't know time or dates right now. Because I had posted on my story that, mom times 2 now, fiance, or, that story. It got 1,700 views or something like that.
Nice.
They were like, how are you juggling it all? I was like, how are you juggling it all so well? And I said, I'm not. I'm just like, at the end of the day, I sit down and say, okay, everyone's alive, everyone's fed. I didn't even go back to work yet. I didn't even start training yet. Don't think that because I posted this, that I'm actually doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not Superwoman. I'm a normal human like everybody else, and we all go through our own thing and make our own ways, but I'm certainly not just, and I don't even want to come across that I'm just everything is perfect and juggling everything with ease.
No, the juggle is real. That's what I always say. I'm always thinking that the juggle is real, and being a mom, the juggle never ends, because you're juggling all these little people and all the stuff and your dogs and keeping everybody fed and alive, and you're just every day is a juggle.
My poor dog.
But then the people who think that the dogs are a lot, and I'm like, oh my God, Jagger's like my easiest child. Like, I'm obsessed with him, because I'm like, you good? And he's like, just taking another nap.
All day. I don't think Rambo got up once today. He just
right? It's like, God, you guys are so easy. Yeah.
Until they stop, like, right? I said to you the other day, I don't know why they walk and just stop right in front of you. I'm like, get out of the way.
Yeah. Well,
I got a kid eating a wall over here. Like, move.
Well, your dogs are used to just being the center of the universe. Like, they're just like, yeah, whatever. Like, it's just our house, our world. You're living in it. But you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. You're hanging in there. And
I would love to come back on and talk a little bit more. I know you usually throw up on your stories if anybody has any questions or anything, but if there's anything specific, I feel like I could talk so much about so many things that when I start to talk, I actually say nothing because
what we should do is we'll come up, this was just like a recap of your life and you as a mom, a new mom, and on all those new feelings.
I am still alive. I am still here. People were asking me,
yes.
Did you fall sick? No, I didn't. I just,
yeah, I know she's still alive and kicking, but and then also you're so knowledgeable as a coach, and I want to remind everyone that, and we can also. We can do this again, and what we can do questions and answers about coaching. The fitness and training and stuff like that you and I can also talk about, and so many other things. I mean, Steph is super knowledgeable in a million ways, all kinds of. I mean, we can do a whole nother episode or two of just all that stuff.
Weight loss surgery questions. I actually feel very removed from the weight loss surgery community. It's been a very long time since I even identified as a weight loss surgery individual. I'm not sure why people continue to do that years and years after they had bariatric surgery. We had surgery. We are now living a normal life like normal people. But there are still people. I forget that people are still in the infancy of their journey. Yes. So I can talk about weight loss surgery, both from a clinical perspective. I am a family nurse practitioner, and from learned experiences, personal experiences. I've worked with probably, hundreds of weight loss surgery people over the years. A lot of hormonal stuff.
Well, that's why I always like to mention it about you, because it is that was a really big turning point in your life, and it was part of your transformation, which an important part, because there, like you said, there are a lot of people who are new and they need the guidance from somebody who's been through it, who's been very successful, and who has a lot of knowledge to share, because even though it's not like who you identify as anymore, and it was but then again, it's like, would be like me saying like, I don't have advice for twin moms. It's like, okay, am I in with the newborns? No, but like, have I done it? Was it part?
And I think a lot of the times people look to individuals for influence on their journey, where they are, and don't really look to people that have been there, have done it, and have been years out. Mm-hmm. So,
because you want to know like the things you're doing. Like,
for example, I have friends that are new moms, and we talk about new mom stuff all the time. But if I have like a burning question, I'm going to come to someone like you that has been there. Like, what am I doing?
Yes.
Because all new moms are going to have new mom questions. And when new moms talk to older moms or who have been around the block, have kids, and have been in this lifestyle for a while, they're going to be like, you're really fine.
Yes.
Stop freaking out.
That's what I try to do for you all the time, because sometimes like it's kind of like, hey, like in the long run, I promise you this shit's not going to matter. Stop stressing yourself out. Like,
and that I think we talk about in terms of fitness too. Like, no one is going to give one shit if you ate that ice cream 3 nights ago. No one cares. No. And you're not going to die. You're fine.
No, exactly. If you didn't get all your water in, you will be okay. Yeah. Like all the little things that at the time when you're a newbie, you think matter. And then like all you need is somebody who's been there to be like, hey, it's not going to matter. And, or like when I tell you like the kids are not going to remember, like it's okay. Like I remember doing that when the twins were crying it out, and I was trying to get them to sleep through the night, and it was so brutal, and I kept wanting to go in, and I looked to Bodhi, who was like, 3 years old at the time. And I was like, do you remember when you screamed and cried at night when you were their age? And he looked at me and he was like, no. And I was like, you don't know. And like, meanwhile, he's Mr. Sleeper now and he's like, whatever. But at the time I'm like, oh my God, is this ruining them? And turns out like, no, they don't remember. They don't care. They're fine. This is not traumatizing them. They're babies. They're supposed to be crying. That's the only way they know how to communicate. And
I know.
at the time you're like,
it's so hard. Don't cry, I love you.
I know. It's so hard, but yeah. But it's long, but once you know that it's like everyone's gonna be okay. It's like, okay.
There's a physician that I follow on Instagram, and he was talking about like the cried out method for nighttime, which he's a very big proponent of. I didn't love it, but honestly, we did do a little bit of it for Mateo, and now he's sleeping completely through the night. Because I could not deal with him being up and all the other stuff. Anyways, he was like, I know as a mom, you think that there might be like a panther in the room with your kids. He's like, but there's not.
There's not.
They're fine. They're safe.
Yes.
They're in their crib. They're safe. They're not like, there's nothing that can harm them. They'll be fine.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes you got to let them figure it out because you know what the funny thing is that like I'm going through that with Bodhi right now where Greg has to say to me all the time, Dana, let him figure it out. And the thing is where we talk about being a mom of infants, and then you talk about like how hard the teen years are. And as a mom right now, I want to do everything for my kids still. And Greg will be like, you have to stop. He's like, do you want to raise a strong, independent man, or do you want a mama's boy that you're still doing everything for him? And Greg will say, Dana, let him figure it out. It's kind of like, let him cry it out. Let them find their way. We are not raising sons to then not be able to function out, as a grown ass man and the head of their family. We have to raise sons who go out into the world and can handle their business. And so it's like if we keep coddling them and running in and being like, I'm going to protect you, that's actually not being a good mom. That's not training them to get out there and be a man. And so Greg has had to be really instrumental this year with me with Bodhi because I just want to keep coming to my kid's rescue and I'm not helping him.
Yeah.
I'm not. And so it's hard because it's painful for me. I don't want my kid to be struggling for a second. I know I got that from my mom too. But it's like, but then I'm like, I'm doing him a disservice. And yet then when I don't help Bodhi and I see him get a win, I'm like, yes. And I love it for him because now and then I see his confidence go up and he's like, Mom, I got this. Mom, and he handles it and he does stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's how I know like I'm actually being a good mom by like letting him have these wins that he won, not that I did for him.
He got to do it.
Yes.
He got to do it.
He figured it out, they figure it out with comforting themselves and learning how to go to sleep and all the things. So we got to just keep remembering that. You're going to have to support me through this time with Bodhi. Remember, stop coddling your kid and because it's not easy. It's not easy.
This one's ready to get coddled a little bit. He deserves it. He's a little, okay, I'm coming.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on. I love this. We'll do it again.
Welcome.
And guys, thanks for listening.
For the next one.
Yes.
For the next one, hopefully we have some people that want to ask some questions, and then I'm going to have a sitter so that I don't have my hands full and have to go change a poopy diaper in the middle of a podcast.
And eventually you'll do a road trip with the boys. You'll come down and visit us too. That'll be fun.
Bye.
All right, you guys. Bye, Mateo. All right. Thanks, Steph. And thanks, everyone, for listening to another episode of Until It's Done, a Devoted podcast.